Hello friends, here with a Lonesome Gamer, and today I'm playing 1853 by Francis Tresham. And I think we've seen until now 4 operating rounds. Still there are only 3 companies operating. The reason is that before all the other companies come into play or may be purchased from the initial offer, the companies that were part of this starting contract have to be sold out of the initial offer. And some of them were pretty expensive companies, therefore there was simply not enough money there to start all these companies or to start more companies. But maybe in this coming up stock round now. And I've also seen a few problems which I didn't really kept in mind here. For example, this guy. His idea was basically to go here like this, place a sharp curve here, then go like this, place a dot here, make a connection to daily, and then run 2 trains for a lot of money. Well, that won't work. The reason is he is limited in his operations by this area here. And you can see daily is here, and he wanted to place his dot here, and he cannot do that. Not until at least the 5 or 6 train comes out, and even then with restrictions. So yeah, that's now definitely an issue. And basically there will be no chance that I can follow this plan anymore. So I might as well consider, but I also have to check if that works. I kind of don't think so. But I might then simply move straight ahead with this track, right? Try to go here somehow maybe and make a connection like this. That seems to be more profitable to me than going down here and then end here at that point. I can lay track in this area, that is fine. I just cannot upgrade or place tokens. The other idea was, if I go back here now and then try to go here, maybe in this city or so, but I think it is not possible to use with one train the same hex twice, or the same dot twice. You know, if there would be no dot, I think I could do it, because then it's just kind of an intersection. That should work. But I think it's the same as with the cities. You cannot use the same city with the same train twice. But I will check that. Yeah, well, as I thought, that's not going to be possible. But yeah, I mean, he still has the option to go down here. And that might be also in the interest of the other guy. That would be a massive route with dots, which leads to Delhi, and the red player might be also interested in making a connection here. Okay, so the red player, or the player 1 has priority, and he's going to invest in shares of the Northwestern. It's a fine running company, and I mean, maybe, I'm not sure how much money I have. Maybe I have that much that I can buy 2 shares of those. That's an interesting option, because then I would simply have an additional share. Let's see. Well, I don't have that money, so basically all I can do is I can buy a share of those guys, and that's pretty much it. Now I've got about $50 left. And he is also in the same situation, and I'm going to do the same thing again. So, because it seems simply the most reasonable here. For him, it's a more interesting question. He could buy that share down here for 104, which makes more money than these shares here. He could also buy that share for 88 and then sell it right away for 100, which is an immediate gain. But the problem is, if he buys that share, then this guy here could buy another share of the Bengal Nagpur Railway, the BNR, and that would mean that he could take away the presidency from him. How bad is that? There are two trains in here, so it's hard to tell. It really is. That is a very tough decision for me to make. Buying a more valuable share or defending the presidency. I mean, if I buy that share, it is. The thing is, if I buy the share here, I get it basically for $12 cheaper than the actual market value. So that is already quite an advantage. In addition to that, I might be able to buy 2 shares. Problem though is, yeah, maybe, because these guys cannot afford that share anymore. And he also can't. So it seems like I have the most cash in hand at the moment. So maybe I can actually buy these 2 shares if I don't buy the more expensive one down here. And I think that is definitely a reason to grab those. In addition, I might have a chance as soon as the green tiles come up to make a connection into this network here. And well, actually I might be able to do that right away. I could go here to Lucknow, for example, and then maybe here and hook up with Delhi. My problem is too, and I'm kind of limited here, you can see I can basically only lay tokens in this lower area of the Ganges Delta and not in these 2 cities. And I'm not allowed to place a token here because this is a spot reserved for the 2 company. That's why I placed that orange token there, to remember that. So right now I cannot place a tokens anywhere here. I could upgrade that tile maybe at some point and try to place a token then there. That would be possible. But that is the farthest, the farthest tile north where I can basically do it. Or of course here, that is another option. So now it's this player, and he's got about 120 something. So what he can do is he can buy that share here, for example, which costs him now 104, and then he cannot buy anything else. These guys both are also in the situation where they can't invest anymore. This guy can buy 1 more share of those. So here's the thing though, if I could buy one of these shares, then in the next stock turn I could sell it for 100 and buy that one. However, if I don't buy this one right away, the other guy might do it. Let's see how much money he has. That's 50, 60, 70, 80. He can't. Look at that. He has he's got exactly 88 bucks. That's exactly enough to buy one more share of those. I didn't calculate that. I didn't know it was that close. But yeah, he's got exactly 88, which is going to be enough to buy one of those. He cannot buy that. So I don't have to protect that share or something. I'm just fine with that. I can say, okay, I buy one of these, sell it right away, make a few extra bucks, and then I can buy this one. The only problem with that is basically that in this way I would lose priority. If I simply buy now this share, then the other guy buys this share, then I would have priority at the beginning of the next turn. And I can also decide whether we do another operating round or not. Is that worth the... How much money is it if I buy that? 12 bucks. You know, that would be basically... It would be basically worth 12 bucks that I lose if I hold priority here. Otherwise, this guy would have priority and I'd be last. Well, the thing is, and that kind of sucks, because if I buy this share and this guy buys the other share, there is still one fucking share in there. If this would be sold out, then priority would be awesome, because then I would be the one who could choose a new company next turn, and that would be amazing. That's not going to happen though. If this gets not bought, then I have priority, but it doesn't really help me. I can't do a lot. There are no other shares available than those. What do I want to do? Maybe starting a company right away. Could I do that? Well, I think I could. I could, for example, say I could sell... You know, that's interesting. I could, for example, I could buy one of these shares, then sell it, including these shares. Which means then I would have enough money to start a new company. I probably not have the money to float the company though. There are many decisions to make here. So what I could do, for example, is I could okay, I sell that share, I buy it, then in the next round I sell it, make 12 additional bucks, I buy that share. Fine. I'm also gonna sell one of these shares. And then then this is sold out. And I think immediately when these shares are sold out, we're gonna see the other companies showing up here. And at that point, I could sell these shares, or one of them, and purchase one share of the others. I cannot start a company on my own in this operating round. That's never going to work out. But I could save the presidency for me. That is an option. I could, for example, buy a two-share, a share of the two company sitting there, and then I have the presidency, and that is a company which is in a very, very good position. I'd lose some money because I have for one operating round or so basically a share that doesn't do me any good, but I might have a presidency of a really strong company. So I got a feeling I might actually go with that idea. That sounds like a reasonable choice for me. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to buy that share for $88. Cool. Okay, there we go. This guy passes. He doesn't have the money. At least I'm pretty sure about that. That's 30, 40, 50. He's got $60. That's not enough money to do anything. He also has $60. And now it's him. Okay, now he's got more, but not the money he needs to buy this share. So at that point, he's going to invest in this share, which is exactly 88. 60, 70. Yeah, that's exactly all he has. And he's going to go with it. Why, why keeping money? And he holds the presidency of the company, and he wants to hold that presidency and not give it to him. Now, the other companies come into play. So at that point, I want to sell one share of those, which gives me 100, and I'm then going to buy for $96 a share of this company. I cannot buy the presidency, that is not allowed, but that's actually not a problem for me in this situation. I just want to make sure that when this company floats, I will get the presidency. And to be in this position, I need to be the one who has shares of that company for the longest time. So I sold that thing for $100. That means I get 4 from the bank. And now it's the question, do these guys want to do some kind of maneuver like that? I don't think so. The reason is simple. The only company that is totally amazing at the moment from the companies that start is company number 2. And this guy kind of surprised them all with his action, So therefore, he was simply first. If they do it, they don't get a lot out of it. They could now say, okay, I also buy a share. But that doesn't help him because he has now the presidency. The others won't get it if they buy shares now. There's no way for them. And it makes no sense to say, hey, I buy more shares or something, because at some point it's very unlikely the company will float right away. And the other shares that these guys hold, for example, the Northwestern and the East India, they make good money at the moment. So selling them is maybe not the best idea. Apart from that, this guy will end up with priority anyway, which gives him the option to buy a share anyway. So, and probably he get more than one share of this good company if he's interested in it. Apart from that, he's also got the choice of some other companies here. So, for now, he's fine. I also don't see a reason for him to do anything. He might consider saying, okay, I don't have great shares here. I mean, what he could do is Yeah, the problem is that selling one of these, but it's not enough to buy that share. That's the thing. This share is only worth $100. Buying that one would be 104. He would like to do it, but he just cannot afford it. And these shares are too valuable. This is a good one too, and he doesn't have the money to get a better one. And selling two of them to buy one of those, I think that's not worth it. So therefore, it's all good for him. He, on the other hand, can do it. He sells that share for another $100 and buys that share for 104 because it makes more money. I mean, it's kind of questionable how long this company will make more money than the other one. Once it will hook up, the green company, the BNR, will do much better than it does now. But I think it's still okay. It's still okay to invest in these guys. Okay, so this is going to be the end of the stock round. This guy holds priority, and we go into the first operating round. And of course, this company will not operate. There is not 50% were not sold, so he just holds that share basically to secure himself the presidency. Ah, shit, I screwed that up. I placed... Yeah, fuck. Okay, it was like that. I placed a dot there. That sucks. Well, okay, so instead I will place this here. I'm not sure. Might have changed the revenue a little bit. I don't know actually, maybe, but maybe not. I don't know that, but there should have been a city there. I didn't see that. I was looking for Benares because it was in his contract and I couldn't find it anywhere, and it's there. Okay, so yeah, that... Okay, I placed this tile here, and I think I want to place a token there. It might look like a waste, and hey, maybe it is, but the thing is, right now I have 2 true trains, and I can simply then in the next turn, if I kind of hook up with this guy, what we're planning to do, I can run from here to Delhi. I can make this huge run, and I can run this train. So basically I can go from, I can go from here to Delhi, which is amazing. And I can go from here to Karachi. That will make me quite a bit of money. And in general, I want this track, which goes basically from Karachi to Delhi, and I can secure this track completely if I place a token here. And there are so many stations then. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There will be 10 dots, which basically gives me 100 extra bucks for this run. I clearly don't want to lose that, you know. I can then go with a 1, 2, 3, with a 4 train. I can from Delhi to Karachi, and I think I can make a good amount of money that way. So I think I want to place a token there for 40 bucks. I mean, can someone else go there? Well, no, but I cannot run my 2 train from here to here if I don't place a token there. So yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. Okay, there we are. Okay, so it's the end of the operating round. The BNR is really in a pretty stupid position. They now went here trying to maybe someday hook up here. But for now they really don't know what to do. I think they're basically aiming for probably a token here. Otherwise it's hard for them to get somewhere. So the guy with the elephant, he wants another operating round. Reason is simple. He makes the most money together with him. So fine, you know, as long as these companies operate, they're going to make a lot of money. And now they're going to make much more in this upcoming round. Because now the company will make this connection here. And from now on, he's going to make an insane run. I mean, at least for that point of the game. He's got two trains. So we're now seeing a run basically 20, 30, 40, 90. And then from here, so that's 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 220. That is by far the best run. He's making now basically double compared to what the BNR, for example, does. Actually, we can make 20 additional bucks. If we start our runs here, we can go like this, and then we can go like this. That gives us 20 additional bucks. The company will have 10 bucks less because of the mail run is not quite as profitable, but that's okay for me. Okay, we see now the next stock round, and this is going to be interesting because now new companies will be started. The guy over there with priority, he was thinking about either starting the 5 or the 2. First I thought the 2 is a little bit stuck here, you know, it's hard for them. I mean, they could go through here, yeah, fine, but well, actually they cannot even start the 2 because this guy already has the 2. Ah, shit, I forgot about that. So now it's the question, does he want to invest in the 2 and say, hey, I'm gonna try to make money with these guys? Because the idea would be to say, okay, we can make a connection here somehow together, and then you can also have that run and you can also make a lot of money there. And he will be able to get a lot of shares, right? I mean, this guy gets the presidency, but in the end, he will also get a lot of shares out of this. I think so, at least. If everybody buys shares of those guys, they might end up both with 30%, while these guys probably will end up with each 20%. Okay, fine. The other option would be to take a presidency, start a company here, try somehow to hook up here. Let's see where these guys can operate. I should be able to. Is that the one? I need a 5. Yeah. Okay, so I can only upgrade to the height of daily, which means I will not be able to upgrade that token to cut into this great run. Okay. And the problem is that this company, this is the other one that I control, also cannot quite get there. So if I would start a company with Go to go into this great route up here, it's not going to work out. Of course, I could go to Delhi, which is right here, right? Can make a connection here. But is that awesome? Wow, man, these are really tough questions to answer. The thing is, I could, of course, for example, buy myself an M train here and do something like this also, but the problem is it really takes a long time to get there. I can only place a single tile per turn, so I don't know if I can make a lot of money with these guys. I don't really have a feeling this is gonna happen. So I think I'll be better off just investing in shares of that company. Of course, he then could transfer money into this company, but he cannot run more than 2 trains anyway at that point. So that wouldn't help him a lot. So it seems like it's a pretty sure investment, pretty safe bet here. So I guess on a 1 to 5 I will go that way. Okay, that's a 4. So yeah, I'm simply gonna invest in this company here. $96 per share. And guess what? This guy is obviously having the same thoughts. I mean, it's such a... I'm also gonna give him a roll. On a 6 he might consider starting his own stuff. But I don't know. Okay, I think he also goes with investing. It makes sense. You can still sell the crap later. Okay, that's 96. I mean, the point is that he doesn't have a presidency. What is the certificate limit? It's 16. Okay, so for now it's not a problem. But at some point in the game, you want to have a presidency. Better 2. If there are 8 companies and 4 players, you kind of want to make sure that you end up with 2 presidencies. Otherwise, you're going to have less shares compared to the other player, which is always a disadvantage. So, what about him? Well, he isn't doing that great. He holds this, the BNR, and they are really doing poorly. I mean, you can do that. You can see that here we got a 12 run here, 17, and this is 24. I mean, this is just... That is really not bad. This is really bad, and I'm not even sure if they'll be able to increase the value soon, because I'm not sure if they will be able to place a token there, for example. You know, these guys could simply upgrade it in a way like this, for example, right? So not all of these green tokens bring you a double space city. So that means he might be cut off here. He might not be able to get into these rich areas. He cannot upgrade anything further north here. So he's really in a bad position. And one option would be to start a company and say, okay, I'm going to work together, for example, with the 8. That would be the ECR. Bringing this north, trying to somehow go to Calcutta or whatever. That is an option. Let's see where the 8 can operate. Is that the one? No, that's a 6. Yeah, the 8 can actually go to Calcutta. Okay? So that's not so bad. The other option would be the 5 here. Well, the 5... The 5 would also give him access to upgrade some of these more northern parts here, and maybe in that way help the 2 company. And these guys could work together maybe, and if we can make a connection like that or something. 5 is a minor company. Both of them are minor companies, which means it's only a single track lay, not that much money in the treasury. I don't know. The other option is to invest in a company that will pretty sure will be a winner, because we already have 3 people investing in that. So basically, you cannot really lose a lot if you do that, right? You basically only lose if you don't. Right? That's the problem here. So I think I probably also... And the other question is, can I start one of the smaller companies? Well, I could probably, if I sell, for example, shares of the BNR, which suck anyway. That's the other thing. I might want to get rid of these shares anyway. And then what is still out there? If I buy shares of these, if everybody buys now shares of the Great Indian Peninsula, GIP, then as I said, I can basically get 2 shares out of this, and that's all there is possible. And then I'm sitting still on these crappy shares. Now if I sell them, let's say 2 of them, so that I can keep the presidency, I would get $200. But with $200, I cannot float a company, not even the cheapest one. I need $300 to float the East Coast Railway. So, I mean, I could buy one of those shares, sell 2 of them, and then try to start the East Coast Railway for a low price, $300. That sounds like a reasonable idea. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so now this guy has purchased his second GIP share, and now different to the first stock round, where the presidencies were just exchanged at the end of the stock round, he will now exchange these 2 shares into the presidency. And yeah, so that means there are actually I think there are now 5 shares left out there. Okay, now here's the thing, I thought about that. So my idea was with this guy to sell the shares in here and then start a company here. But if you think about it, for the moment, even though these are the worst shares out there, they will still make a lot more money than shares of that company. And so why would I sell them? I might as well say, hey, I'm going to invest also in this company, a second share basically. And then if all the others buy shares, I will be second in priority, which might be okay. Maybe then in the next turn I get the option to start a company like that. Well, I'm not so sure if I want to do that. The thing is, if I buy another share of that company, in the end he's going to hold 3 shares, these 2 guys also going to hold 3 shares, and I'm going to hold 2 shares. So then he as the president might be very interested in saying, you know what, I don't care about that company, I simply use this company to feed my other company. Because if we all hold 3 shares, I can simply take the capital of the company, transfer trains a little bit, and then I end up with a ton of money in here, and I don't care about that stuff. Hard to tell, but I think actually I'm considering actually starting a second company here, and then we'll see what we can do there. So I'm gonna sell these 2 shares and then start the 8 company. Okay, now here's another interesting part. This guy does not have the money to buy another share of that company. He could sell a share. He could sell a share of the Northwestern. But the Northwestern is making good money for now. Maybe not quite as good as the EIR, but it's a good company. So, and he might also think, yeah, you know, if everybody buys shares of those and we sit on 30% and he only holds 40, who knows if he's going to treat the company well. So maybe it's not a bad thing if he holds a few more percent, so that it's really in his interest then to get money out of the company. So what he actually does, instead of selling a share of the Northwestern and investing more in this company here, he will simply also buy a share of the East Coast Railway for $70. It's a cheap share, and I don't know, maybe at some point it will make money. There's not a lot out there at the moment, and he's pretty much doing the same again. So these guys play for now exactly the same game. The problem is, of course, if you play solitaire, this might happen. I think I've never seen it, but that for such a long time there's basically the same game going on. This is really weird. I mean, sooner or later that will end. Okay, so that's also $70 for this guy. And now, not quite there to float the company, but it's not a long way anymore. I get the presidency at that point. This goes back into the pool, and this guy will now invest in a 4th share of this company, selling this guy here. Grabbing this one. This is worth 109, so he gets back $13. Okay, now this guy is pleasantly surprised because he sees, okay, there are other people investing in my company. Awesome, I don't have to do it alone. So I only need 1 more share, and this company is floated. That gives me now the option to actually buy another share of those. I just have the money, I calculated it, it is close, but I can do it. And now I hold 20% of that company, 20% of that company. Maybe it's not that bad. This guy passes. There's no money left for him. Same here. Same here. He has money left. Pretty much exactly a few more bucks. Yeah. So $2 remaining, but now he can float. Can he? Yeah, 50%. He can float the ECR. So we start the next operating round. There'll be no changes for the red company. We are not, the 3 train isn't purchased yet, So we're not going to see any upgrades or whatever. So the red company just does its 240 run. Okay, so the thing is now I'm making a 240 run. I could buy a 3 train with this company if I would swallow. And in general I want a 3 train because the 4 trains are getting really expensive, 620 bucks. So I think I'm interested in getting one of these 3 trains. But the problem is at the moment I can only run my 2 trains. Even if I had a 3 train, I couldn't run it. I mean, I could maybe make a little more money. I could run it as a 2 train and then basically run 3 2 trains, but that's not a lot more than I would gain out of that. So my idea is more to say, on the other hand, I don't know. I mean, if I pay out now and then after this operating round, not make another one, but do another stock round right away, I might have a little advantage over these guys who just started a company because those companies couldn't pay out, while I can pay out now at that point and use that money to buy additional shares. So that sounds like maybe that's a better idea for me. But here's the thing, if I buy a 3 train now, I can run it next time. I can upgrade this thing to Calcutta, and then I can run a 2 train like this, I can run a 2 train like this, and I can run the 3 train to Delhi. That's pretty awesome, and I think I want to do that. So I will actually swallow 240 bucks, and in addition I get another 70 for the mail run. So that means it's 310 bucks for the company, and then I'm gonna buy myself the 440 train. Now the share value doesn't drop because there are no shares in there. Of course it doesn't rise either, but I think there's a good chance that in the next operating round I'll be able to make more than 260 bucks. I mean, I'm making 240 now, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to make more than 260 in the next operating round, and then this thing will even rise 2 spaces. So swallowing is not that bad in this game. Of course I lose the money for the shares, but at least the share value doesn't suffer from that a lot. And another bummer here for the BNR. This guy indeed upgraded this tile so that there is only a single token, so that means he is now cut off. He cannot take part in this cool game up there. That sucks. However, I mean, the thing is, I just said that my idea is basically with the EIR to upgrade this tile here in a way that I can make this connection here. That's nice, but you know, I could now also say, hey, you know, I'm upgrading that in a way that you cannot connect here. And then the company, the GIP would be in a lot of trouble. I mean, they could try to make their way here to Delhi or something, but that would suck. There are these 2 cities here. They're not kind of have to go there. I mean, okay, they could go through this city and then try to hook up here, but their big goal was to get there, right? And they kind of had this agreement. Okay, you know, I'm starting this company and you can come in there and we'll work together. But then he decided, nah, I want to only buy 2 shares instead of the 3 shares. And now he's sitting on 4 shares and he's sitting only on 2 shares. So I might even make a roll on that if he stays with this agreement, because he could hurt him a lot if he cuts him off at that point. a lot. Okay, so he thought about buying 2 trains. He has the money to do it. Well, actually, he might even consider transferring money in the other company. Interesting. Interesting choices here. Yeah, I think I actually want to buy the 2 train in addition to the 3 train. The thing is, I can run now I run the 2 train only up there, which is really not too great. And the reason I do that is because I want to upgrade that to double gauge and then run with a meter gauge down here. That was always my plan. But I can now run the 2 train here and hit that 30 twice, right? And then go with the 3 train like this if the other guy doesn't fuck me up. So, I mean, we'll see about that. I see some reason to be suspicious here. I really do. Because in the end, it doesn't terribly help him if he upgrades that. But if he upgrades that to my advantage. On the other hand, he will basically lose a turn to make this great Calcutta, whatever that run is. And therefore, maybe he says, okay, I'm going to make the upgrade here. That's more important to me than screwing you over. Especially because I also have 2 shares. Hard to tell. Okay, so now it's the western, the northwestern. And we now see an upgrade to double gauge here. So because they have a token here, from now on they can change gauge here. So that will allow them, for example, to go here with a standard gauge and make that connection, which they need for the contract. And then they could also go down here with their meter gauge. Problem is they're going to need another upgrade here if they want to make that connection. So they're going to lose another tile placement. That is all a very slow process here. So the green company, they found a way to get in there, but it's not gonna, I mean, the thing is, on the long term, it's possibly not that amazing. I don't know, but for now it will give him quite a boost. So they're going to place this thing here in Patna. They cannot upgrade this, right? Therefore, it does not make sense to go in this way. Otherwise, it would be awesome if they could have upgraded that. But in this way, because this is exactly how far they can go with their upgrade options. Okay, so, and then they want to place a token there. And that is also the most northern place, basically, where they can do it. So for 40 bucks. And now they can run their 2 trains. And they can now simply both go to Calcutta, which is obviously a big advantage. One of them can even take this little one. So basically this is then simply a 50, 60, 90, 100. And the other one take this. So they make now a 200 run. From 120 to 200, that's a big difference. And funny thing is that there are 80% now in the bank pool. Oh boy. Well, we'll see. Well, here I was thinking of laying a meter gauge, but let's be honest. Does it do me any good? Not really. I mean, in the end, I want to try to hook up with these guys. And then I'm sitting on my meter train and I cannot run on these. And you know, if I buy myself, let's say a 3 train, I could, for example, maybe go this way, then might be able to build a city here or something. You can upgrade these dots to cities. So I could go that way, then this way, maybe place a token here, and then like this, you know, and I can make some money that way. It's not a ton of money, but it's something. But with a 2 train, man, we're just going here or something. We could maybe make this a city, but am I interested in this? We don't making a lot of money that way. Problem is down here is also not that much, not that many dots. We can go here, but from there on, it doesn't really help a lot. So I think I'm gonna simply buy a standard train. Of course, first we gotta lay track, and sadly we gotta cross the mountains here. Okay, it will give us $100. We have enough to pay for the money, so we gotta pay 140. We get 100 back, so 40 are already gone. And then I'm gonna buy myself one of these trains here. I don't know if that is a really good idea, but I think everything else is even worse. I mean, we could exchange at that point basically trains. I could buy one of those. Well, what I might actually do is I could buy, in the next turn I could buy the 3 train. I won't have a train then, but that's not a big deal for this company. It is a big loss if I buy now the 2 train and then the company buys back the 3 train. I think that is pretty stupid because the 2 train basically brings me $100 per run. But I might do the other thing. I might, when the company is running, I could buy the 3 train, and then that company can buy the 2 train. I might even say, okay, screw this company. I'm running this company on 3 trains. That could be maybe even the best choice here. I hold 2 shares of that company, nobody else holds shares. So if we start buying, I will be always 2 shares ahead. I could get rid of this crap. That's an interesting thing to do. The question is, will I get the chance to do it? Because I don't know, there's a lot of weird stuff going on here. And actually, yes, we're going to see another operating round. The elephant player decides, yeah, why not? He's still making probably the most money. He has by far the most powerful company, so there is no reason for him to change this, you know, to go into stocks buying or something, especially after he swallowed the last turn. So that means actually these guys have more capital to invest in new shares, so therefore he wants another operating round. He's got now this massive company, two trains and a 3 train. They're going to make a lot of money. But before they do that, they will actually screw the other guy over. There's absolutely no reason why he should allow him to go in there. So therefore, he's going to upgrade that thing. Into this. You know, I mean, it basically just gives him disadvantages. Is that like this? He can simply sell his shares again. But he has now the dominant company. And if he lets the other guy in there, he will be at least some competition. And in this way, for quite a while, he will not become that big. And indeed, we have now a massive run of 370. The guy goes here to Calcutta. Then he goes from here to Calcutta with his two trains. And the 3 train starts here and takes that long route to Delhi. And of course he will pay out here. Oh, by the way, we have now here a connection, and that means that, let me see, Benares is that one, Patna is this one, Delhi and that one. These are now all connected, and that means that these two guys will get their contract money. The same applies for this guy, the third player. Here's also Nagpur, Allahabad, which is that one, and Calcutta. And there are everywhere connections now. And remember, it doesn't matter if they are blocked or something. This is not an issue here. So that means these three players will now get their money from the contract back. So, well, the GIP is really pissed. I mean, obviously, that is not what he expected that could happen here. Now, what do we want to do at that point? I wonder if it makes sense to cut in here. Can someone make me any trouble there? Maybe not. Am I allowed to upgrade this? Let me see. Yeah, that's exactly this one here. I can do that. So if I place a token here, I could upgrade that one, and then I would at least get this one here to Delhi. That is not so terribly bad. So I could 1, 2, 3. Sadly, I got to go there, and then 4. I mean, what? No, it would. Yeah, that would be okay. So I'm gonna, and nobody can destroy that, I think, because this is the only tile, if I'm not mistaken, that can be placed there. Oops. Because everything else would go out of the map. So that leaves me an option to cut in here. Okay, that is a... Oops. What is that? This is a river. And you know what? I think I want to lay a second tile. And I'm considering using meter gauge and go down here. There's a lot of little dots here. It's expensive to build there, but it might be worth it. So yeah, place the tile there in the river basically, and then I'm gonna come up with something like this, I guess. Hook this up, go down here, then grab this, you know. Maybe go to Hyderabad, who knows. This seems like definitely like an option. We got mountains here, so overall, wait a minute, is that, there's a dot there, which is good. Okay, cool. So I can lay now 2 tiles for free because I started here, and after the 3 trains came out, when other companies want to lay 2 tiles, they got to pay the $20, right? But I can do it for free. And however, I got to pay obviously terrain cost. The river is $40 and the mountain is 70, so that's 110. I got a 3 and a 2 train. Yeah, great. Well, but I can run them both, which is kind of funny. I can go 50 and 60, 70, 90. So that means 140, right? So that's not even that bad. Then the Orange Company, they're going to buy themselves a 2M train. For this here, it will already make money in the next turn. Not a lot, but it's not that terribly expensive, just $250. And we're going to see now the Black Company. Nah, And they want their bond back, so that means basically they gotta upgrade that stuff here. And yeah, what about that? I guess they're gonna go like this then. Okay, yeah, and then in the next turn they can make a connection and finally start building the narrow gauge out of here. But I think that was a big waste. Although, yeah, you never know. Okay, so Black Company only has a single train to run, and that is, I think, 130. Might be a little more because of, yeah, I think it's actually a little more. I think it's 140 now. Now the Black Company, the NWR, has the money to buy themselves another 3 train. And I think we actually should do that. There is just 1 M train left, so it's really a tough call. We could also invest in the M train, but if we swallow next turn, we might be able to buy it anyway. We can then run 2 trains. I guess that's going to be enough to grab us 250 bucks. And then we can buy that M train anyway. And before us, I mean, the Green Company will operate. They're not going to buy an M train. These guys will operate. They also will not. So I'm pretty sure nobody will buy that M train. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to invest here. In that last 3, no, it's not the last 3 train, but it is possible that in the next stock round more companies will start, and then I guess these 3 trains might disappear. Okay, I think I'm simply gonna grab the train from him for 10 bucks and I might simply let this company rot. I might simply sell my shares in there and basically just grab the 3 train, because the company, I don't know. I mean, for a while it won't make a lot of money, so for now it's a pretty bad investment, I think. And that 3 train can make the Green Company, the BMR, a lot more money. So now it's the East Coast Railway, and they don't have a train. And here's the interesting thing, they don't need a train. In this game, you're never forced to buy a train. So, well, I mean, what's going to happen to these guys? I'm going to sell their shares probably, all of them. And this is now exactly the question. We're then going to have a president, we're then going to have a manager probably later. And also for now, we're having this company here, which doesn't do me any good. So how do I want to play that company? That's something I find very hard to answer. Also, if you play that company as a manager, you can basically make the same decisions as a director can, except that you cannot pay out a dividend. So, for example, track lay. Do I want to lay track? It might help me. It helps the company, obviously. But in the end, someone else might end up with this company. It's hard to tell. On the other hand, I could say, okay, I'm kind of I still kind of want to work together with these guys. So maybe I actually want to make some kind of connection to Valtair. That might be a reasonable option here. Yeah, why not? So there's a dot here. So I think I'm going to then lay track like this. And that will cost the company $80. There we go. And that's it. They're not going to run. They don't have a train. They don't pay out. But the funny thing is, the share value does not even drop because there are no shares in the bank pool. So, yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird situation. But yeah, that's not the only weird thing in this game. Okay, so I guess that was a really long video. I'm pretty exhausted here. I'm gonna load this up. I think we've seen a lot of interesting developments. 3 trains are out. Not too many are left, so we might pretty soon see the first 4 trains, which will, I guess, rust the 2 trains then. And then we'll see also if the dominance of the first company, the EIR, will remain. It looks pretty much like it. And I mean, between these 2 players, it's clearly a fun race. They have absolutely the same amount of money, the same amount of shares. So yeah, at some point that will change. But it's definitely funny to see. Okay, so hope to see you on the next video or on lonesomegamer.com. Bye.